Hello, this is Eric from the Stratford Public Library MakerSpace. Welcome to another edition of Make It Meetups. Today I thought we'd make some books, and they could be notebooks, or they could be books that you write your own stories in, or anything else you'd like to put into a book. I have a whole bunch of really great handmade books I thought I would show you for inspiration. These two books were made out of old books, and they've just used the cover and then put in new blank pages so that you can either write your own story or you can use it as a notebook. The spines were stitched together. This handmade book by my sister has a kettle stitch. On the inside there's several divisions of pages. Each one gets stitched down the center, and then a kettle stitch right up the spine. This is also called a ladder stitch. Binding a book like this allows it to lay flat when it's open. These two books were just created with a piece of leather as the cover, but you could use a piece of fun foam or anything else that's got a little bit thicker than your pages. And it just has regular blank pages stitched inside, and they're really simple to make. This is another really awesome book. If you do any sewing, inside there's a piece of felt that's just been tied in with a piece of string, and you can use it for all your pins and needles so you don't lose track of them. Now that you've seen some of the handmade books that I have, grab some scrap paper, a pair of scissors, a stapler, or a needle and thread, whatever you've got around, and we'll make some books. So these tiny little books were super easy to make. I just got a stack of scrap paper, cut it up into rectangles, and then I used this file folder because it already had a fold, and you can either staple it right along the edge or pre-fold your pages, pre-fold your cover, put the two together, and staple right down the middle. Your only limitation on size is how much room your stapler can staple. But if it's too big for your stapler, just stitch it together. If you want to stitch the binding together, you can take your pages and put the needle straight through, and it's probably a good idea to only do a few pages at a time because they get pretty thick. So I'll take these pages, and for the first stitch I'm going to set it on this piece of foam and press into that so that I don't press it into my finger, and have the needle stick through the back. And then I'm going to do that again with this second set of pages. And now I'm going to take them and I'm going to poke through the cover. Be really careful not to get your fingers. And if you have something pokey with a handle on, sometimes it helps to pre-poke your holes. And now, I'm not going to pull it all the way through, but I'm going to go through where my needle is, or where my original loop was. I'll pull that tight, and then I'll go down through the same hole that I made, and then back through the hole that I made. When you're done, you can just slip your needle right underneath your thread here, and then it's created a loop. And then bring the needle through there and just back up through the loop. And that makes a knot. We'll do a couple of those. You can also stitch a binding like this on a sewing machine, but it does dull the needle when you sew paper. So it's a good idea to keep a separate needle that you use only for paper. If you want to create perforated pages that you can easily rip off sections, just take the thread out and only use the needle. You can also use full sheets of paper and make a really cool book cover like this one. I'm going to just punch some holes along the top and tie it with some pieces of string. And I can use a twist tie on one, can use a zip tie on another, and a pipe cleaner for the last. These make really awesome presents for friends and family because they've got somewhere to put all their notes in, and they can keep track of grocery lists and what they're working on, or you can write a story in it and give it to somebody. It'd be totally great if we could make a 3D book that our action figures and other characters could help tell the story of. I got an idea. Okay. I'm sorry we didn't have enough time to finish up what we were working on today, but tune in next week, Thursday at 2 o'clock. Same maker time, same maker channel, and we'll make a 3-dimensional storybook. Really excited to show you guys the next steps. Don't forget, if you did create a book, take a picture of it and share it with us on social media.